Paranormal Punches is part of the Podbelly Network. Go to podbelly.com for more great podcasts.
Hey y'all, this is Frank the Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Paranormal Punchers. I'm Mark.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Nash.
And I'm not Dave.
That's right, Dave's not here,
No.
but Evan is.
Yep.
Thanks for filling in for Dave while he travels across the seas to
The Hollow Earth.
the Hollow Earth. That's right, he's going back to the Hollow
He's
Earth.
got to go back.
Yep.
He's got to go back every so often.
Check on those servers.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, monitor the servers, the code. There could be a glitch.
Sure, everybody there's doing their IT thing.
That's right. That's right. Exactly right.
You know, he's in India. All right, you know, and the funny thing is, our topic today is werewolves, Viking werewolves, which, Nash, this was your pick.
Yep.
We're also going to talk about the movie on Netflix called Viking Wolf. Nash, this was your pick.
Yep. Yeah.
And these are all right up Dave's alley. So
I
the
know.
minute Dave's away and can't be on the show, we pick topics he would
The
love.
one topic. I want to make him jealous so he never wants to
man.
leave again.
Right.
And yeah, so it should be a fun episode. Hopefully you enjoy it. So, speaking of enjoy, Nash, I know you were trying some Magic Mind.
I was, you know, I've been taking this little green shot called Magic Mind. It's a small drink you can add to your protein shake or your coffee in the morning. It's got something really jazzy called nootropics. And helps improve attention, concentration, and cognition. It definitely helps me stay productive and handle complex issues that pop up during the workday. And y'all know that I could lose a little boost for that. For instance, I actually work in the mortgage industry, and it can be a bit challenging sometimes when I'm juggling problem solving and reviewing documents, negotiations, and marketing, along with, you know, the deadlines always hovering over me. I could tell that Magic Mind was able to keep me dialed in and able to adapt and shift along with everything that the day had planned for me. If you would like to try Magic Mind and see if it helps with your productivity during the workday, go to magicmind.co/parapunchers, magicmind.co/PARA-punchers, and get up to 56% off your first subscription or 20% off the first one-time purchase. But hurry, the 56% discount only lasts for 10 days from our episode airing.
All right. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. Are you ready to dive in to Viking werewolves?
Oh, boy.
Oh, hold on. This was Nash's pick. Nash, would you like to kick things off? Sounds like Alicia. You should help kick things off.
I did not take my Magic Mind today, so I'm sorry.
All right. So, in Norwegian folklore, the werewolf, or okay, I need to preface everything with some of these words.
We will mispronounce them.
Yes.
We don't mean
And
to offend anybody.
exactly.
We're going to try our best, though.
And I apologize. So, in Norwegian folklore, the werewolf, or varulv, is a type of shapeshifter or hamløper.
What?
A
A hamløper.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's how you say it, but that's a shapeshifter. Now there is another type of shapeshifter is called a mannbjørn or man-bear. It was once believed that certain people could transform into a wolf or a bear, but it was usually because this ability was due to a curse given to them by Trollmen.
But also, I read or came across that a curse or they're actual sorcerers
Yes.
that can change. Now, I have it said they can transform into werewolves, or I don't know where I found this passage, or house bears.
House bears.
That it could have been a translation issue,
But
now I'm like,
that one word is
Right.
enough.
Right.
you imagine You can transform into a house bear.
A house
I don't know what that means. You're just
bear.
hanging out the house, watching The Simpsons, drinking a beer. I don't know. I don't know what it means, but I kind of think it's pretty cool.
I could use that.
Domesticated bears.
Yeah. You know, I wonder if you could teach a house bear to like some people teach their dog to go get them a beer out of the fridge. What if you had a house bear doing that? Yeah.
Especially since they can stand on their back too.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. I feel like that did derail it slightly.
It's all good, though. That was funny.
Go, baby.
All right. So I also came across that Norwegian werewolves, they don't have the same characteristics as werewolves of like literature or films. So
Very different.
yeah, these werewolves, they don't need the moon to change.
Now, whenever I show my moon, my wife's
stop.
attitude does change a little bit. So that's different, though.
Well, that's for other reasons.
Yeah, so they don't need they don't need the moon to change into a wolf, but do often become more.
Nobody needs the moon to change into a wolf. That'd be horrible.
That's right.
Okay. But do often become more ferocious and wolf-like in the evening. So, like, it's more of an evening type of thing anyway.
Yes, it is.
Even though they can't control changing into a werewolf, they can usually sense when it's going to happen as well. When they change, they actually put a skin on, like a wolfskin.
Yeah.
And because of this, you can apparently cure a werewolf by finding and burning the skin or stabbing it.
Yeah. So I was reading the exact same thing, and I'm thinking to myself, I just that whatever that idea. I think we're going to come back to that.
Okay.
There's some other things later in what we're talking about that will kind of double back into what's happening with wolves in Norway right now.
Oh.
Well, you know, that is one of the many myths or legends involving the werewolf is these furs. It's the story of Sigmundur and Sinfotli. The Sigmundur and Singvotli myth. I mispronounced all that, and I apologize.
Yep.
But it is the story about a father and son duo that were thieves.
Yep.
So they found there was this house of this wealthy people, and I think nobody was there. So they snuck in, and there were these wolf hides like above the fireplace, and they were like awesome. They took them, and they just felt like compelled to put these on, and then they kind of transform. You know, they got the long teeth. They started walking on all fours, and they were overcome with this blood rage. And they went on a killing spree. And they ran into a group out in the middle of the forest. They werewolfed the heck out of those people. And in this blood rage, Sigmundur turned on his son and killed his son. And then when he took the hide off, returned to human form, and I feel like he felt like, oh, this is horrible. And one story, he used some herbs and elixirs to
some like
heal
magic
his son.
thing.
So they were like, all right, we need to burn these pelts. We should never put them back on. And they burned the pelts, and that's the story.
Right.
Yeah, we're good. Hopefully, was that the same story you came across?
Basically, yeah. Yeah, I read that it was luxurious wolf skins. So they were like, well, obviously we need to take these because they're cool. But anyway, in some of the folklore, also, the werewolves, they're almost always men. It's not usually the females that this is happening to, but there is a female shapeshifter. It's called the mare. Now, the mare will sit on their victim's chest while they're sleeping and give them bad dreams.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I know.
So
I think that's called something else, but
I might have a different name here in the States. But Mark, when you wake up, if Alicia is sitting on your chest, kind of doing this weaving thing in your brain, I mean, that's just it. I mean, you know what? I don't think what you do. I don't want to know what you would do. But
I wouldn't talk about it. That's for
let
sure.
me back up and omit that from the story. You guys are into whatever you're into.
Now, also, silver is not a deterrent for Norwegian werewolves, and it doesn't really affect them. At least what I was finding, like it doesn't really do anything for them.
Well, actually, going back to the whole mare thing, it said that in their folklore that if a pregnant woman, if a pregnant woman crawls through a colt's membrane.
Oh yeah, I did read that, and
right?
I decided not to put it in my notes.
Yeah,
like,
now what that exactly means and how you would do something like this,
right.
I don't know.
And what the hell they're referring to as a membrane?
Right. And the logistics behind this, I'm excited to watch.
Really?
Yeah. Well, not like, I don't know. I'm just confused by the whole thing.
I didn't know you're over there in the corner with your popcorn.
I'm like,
And
how
a
are you
beer.
gonna,
Like, okay,
how are you gonna,
how's this go? Let me see how this happens.
does anybody have a Colt's membrane around? What is that?
God.
So I don't know. So a Colt's membrane, the pregnancy, when there's a birth, the birth would be totally painless for the pregnant woman. And then that's how you would have one of two things, either the boy, which would turn into a werewolf, or the mare being born.
Okay.
So just know if you're at the hospital and you're giving birth and the nurse brings over a colt, like I may be in a bag or something. I
don't
logistics. I don't know. A large colt membrane. I'm thinking more like a uterus kind of a thing.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And just like puts it over your head and makes you walk through it or crawl through it. It could be better
This
than
is the
painkillers.
worst topic.
And now you know.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you don't need any other kind of drugs. They just need a colt membrane. Yep. Yeah.
Now,
That's great, Dad.
so werewolves, they're not as common in Norway as like trolls or other mythological creatures, like in all their stories and stuff like that. And there was no like werewolf trials here like there was in France or Germany. But the Norse sagas, they had a big influence on werewolf folklore in Norway, especially with stories of people who can turn into something else. Of course, this is more of a magical power versus a curse placed on them. But also Vikings, they were very obsessed with wolves as well as people who could become them, and even had them as symbols representing their society.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about the berserkers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna get into that. That's so cool.
Good, we'll tag team.
Yep.
So these warriors known as, again, I might mispronounce this, Ulfenar, would, when they were going into battle, according to Viking sagas, they would bite their shields, make these howls, fight even with their fingernails, and supposedly experience no pain in battle. And instead of armor, they would wear wolf pelts. And they would just go and do their berserker thing. So to the point where it would cause like any towns they raided to start having these tales of calling them like, you know, legends of this wolf or this man who became like a wolf. And but they were legendary. This the Ulfhendar. That an 18th century poet wrote a little ditty about him. Wolfcoats, they call them, that in battle bellow into bloody shields. They wear wolves' hides when they come into the fight and clash their weapons together.
We need Dave at this point to put that to some metal.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah.
But no, like, I guess some of the English towns were, they would call them where, or were, being an old English word for man, where or were wolves, man wolf.
Okay.
And berserk, the berserk directly translates to bear cloak.
Yep.
So that's where the berserker, which is awesome because we always hear, you know, playing D&D, you go into rage and you go into berserk mode kind of a thing.
Berserk.
And and that's actually where the berserk mode came from, was these guys wearing these bear cloaks.
Right. Yeah. The expression to go berserk, it actually comes from this. So,
That's awesome.
right.
Well, and actually there was another story of, now this is a 9th century saga from Sogan, Norway, with Ulf.
Oh, you.
Yeah, Bjalfsen.
You tried.
Yeah,
Yep,
okay.
yep.
Bjalfsen. How about that? That could be better.
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
our Norwegian listeners will
I
tell
know.
us.
Yeah, I apologize now. It looks like good old Ulf is described as both a hammerer, and a, what was the one you had then?
Oh,
Ulfindar. That's probably what it was. And while he's often in high spirits in the morning, good old Yulf gets more and more sullen in the evening, giving him the name Kveldulf, evening wolf.
yeah.
Yulf's son Grimmer is kind of similar. At one point, in the household, they were playing games, and Grimir starts off weak, but because he's an elderly man, what?
No. He started off weak because he's an elderly man.
There you go.
Yeah.
But as the evening goes on, he gets stronger and wilder until he's almost kills his own son, Egil, in a fit of uncontrolled rage. Egil, for whom the saga is named, also inherits these traits as a berserker. Nice.
For a second there, it sounded like I seen this go down before when my grandpa be drinking bourbon.
Right. Yep. So
Now
basically,
you
yeah.
get those liquid muscles going.
Yeah, it was granddad, dad, and son. They were all playing games or something.
Someone went
Household.
berserk mode.
Yeah, the household's playing games.
Nice.
Right.
And it says none of these men are explicitly described as werewolves, and their wolfish traits may be descriptors of their attitudes or behaviors. However, there did seem to be some kind of a physical change, at least in the terms of their strength. So they berserked out. Nice. Over some games.
So they were doing Festivus?
Maybe.
Sounds like the
Every
average
night?
game of Monopoly.
Right.
What's that?
Sounds like the average game of Monopoly.
That's right. That's true. That's
Really?
true. It starts slow and it picks up, and then all of a sudden you're throwing pieces across. And
Yeah.
nice.
Fine, you win, Grandma.
Damn slumlords. And there was even some imagery that I came across where, I guess,
Great, show it on the podcast.
Yeah.
well, I'll describe it. Where Odin is sitting with his two birds, you know, his two ravens, but he
Hugging and munning?
hugging and mugging. I don't know.
Munning? Hugging and munning?
Yeah, yes, but also next to him were two wolves. I
Yep.
don't remember ever seeing the two wolves.
No, I don't remember that
Fenrir.
either. No, not Fenrir.
It's like
Okay,
Gary
no,
and
Fenrir is the
Freaky.
son of
yeah,
Loki.
yeah. It's Frecky and Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Could be
Well,
Gary.
it's Geri. I'm assuming Jerry.
Is it GIF or
Gary?
GIF? Is it a GIF or a GIF?
I don't know.
I don't know. But
Odin was the god, and I guess there was one where he had to feed. He was feeding one of them.
well, what I came across is that he would share all of his food to the wolves, but he would keep the wine for himself.
Yeah, what's up, Odin? That's right. How you doing?
Right.
Smart man. I like your style.
Yeah.
So, so the question I have is because wrapping it back to what we're going with like werewolves and donning the skins, okay? So in the beginning, it takes me back to the beginning and say, well, they weren't like people who transformed. They were either wizards or they donned the cloak. You know, like the wolf skin. So that kind of led me to a spot where it's like, well, that's why there are practically no wolves in Norway. They're like it was extremely endangered or something. There's practically no wolves there whatsoever. I'm imagining because people were killing these wolves, trying to get there first so they could go berserk. Not like, last year or anything like that. But I mean, over time, they were just killing the population so much that there's just none left. Yeah. Now I didn't look into the whole how many bears there are, but I imagine when people go with a wolf because they might be a little easier to kill than a bear.
right.
Unless it's a house bear.
Unless it's a house bear.
Right.
That bear needs to pay some rent.
So if you had a house bear, what would you name him?
You think there's like bear breeds that have like the face of a pug, where it's just all
Oh yeah, like different breeds.
yeah, or like a little Chihuahua bear.
For what I call my house bear?
Little yapping thing.
Yeah, if you had like a poodle version of a bear,
Yeah.
what would you name your bear? If you had a house bear, what would you name it?
Bear.
Bear? Okay. Alicia?
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy. Be like, hey,
boring,
bear,
though.
come here.
Name it something weird.
What would you name yours, Evan?
I don't know. Something weird, though.
I think I'd name it Steve.
Steve.
Steve?
Steve the bear.
I mean, it'd be great at parties.
Yeah, Steve.
He'd be everybody's best friend.
Yeah, a house bear. You could ruffle his feather. You could ruffle his feathers. His
Yeah, but
fur.
occasionally you're like, oh, Steve just ate Henry.
He just ate that guy. Oh, don't put your hand next to his mouth.
Don't worry, he doesn't bite.
He will pull back. You will pull back a nub if you put your hand next to his mouth. So, did you guys come across anything with? Did you guys come across anything with like sightings? Because I was having a heck of a time finding sightings.
Just tales.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, did you? I have one about. Well, there's two about a husband and wife.
Yeah. Basically, the general story or theme for the werewolf legends is that a husband and wife are out in the field working. The husband tells the wife what to do if she suddenly encounters a massive wolf or bear.
With a suspect from the get-go.
Yeah, exactly. And then he just mysteriously disappears. It doesn't take long before she is attacked by a wolf or a bear. The wife, she defends herself and hurts this animal. The husband then comes back suddenly, but he's now bearing a surprising mark or wound where the wife had hurt the animal before. And basically this confirms to her that he is indeed the animal. So a lot of the stories are kind of in that fashion.
Yeah, this is a similar one where a hamlet deep in the forest. Scene opens. There was a dude named Lassie and his wife. And one day he went out in the forest to get some wood. And he had forgotten to do like a whatever prayer to ward off trolls.
Yeah.
So poor Lassie was transformed into a wolf by a wicked troll.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now his wife had mourned the loss of her husband. One Christmas Eve, a very poor beggar woman came to the door, and the wife was very sympathetic and fed her. And the old lady said, "You would probably see your husband again. You know, he's not dead, just wandering in the forest as a wolf." Towards nightfall, the wife, I guess she was going out to the pantry to get some meat or something, and there's a wolf. And it kind of raised itself up with its paws and kind of looked sad and hungry. And the wife said, "If I were sure thou wert my own lassie, I would give thee a bit of meat." At that very moment, the wolfskin fell off, and her husband stood before her in the clothes he wore that morning when he wandered into the woods.
Yeah.
Okay. So in D&D, when you change shapes from A to B to something else, you have the option to wear, the clothes becomes part of you. Or your armor becomes part of you, or you depending on the DM, it'll fall to the ground, whatever. That was the only story that I saw that the clothes stayed with the wolf. I mean, the pelt is part of them, and I don't know how the pelt would stay on, like suspenders or hooks or something.
It's like a cape or something.
Yeah, like a cape.
No.
In this case, the story felt like whatever happened, he was cursed, but with this pelt, which he could not remove, something needed to. And in this case, it was his wife's love, I'm assuming, helped lift the curse, and that's why the pelt fell off him. Otherwise, it would stay intact, and he would just be roaming as a wolf. That's what I kind of got. Again, the love.
Are you saying love conquers all?
Yeah.
Of course.
See, happy Valentine's Day.
In April.
Yeah.
Every day should be Valentine's Day.
This is being recorded on Valentine's Day.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No.
We'll just keep replaying it.
That's right. Yeah. Now, because I thought more. it kind of took me away from people changing shape and to like these wolf pelts are enchanted. Like to kill a wolf and skin it, and then I guess
Enchant it?
I guess that would then enchant it or something like that.
Well,
I don't know.
They did talk about like people that turn into werewolves. It's because they're cursed.
Right.
So like,
right.
is the skin cursed? And that's what I don't know.
The question then becomes, why did the rich people have a cursed pelt in that one story?
Right.
Just hanging up above the fire.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Unless they were scheming against some thieves.
Yeah.
Or did they kill the wolves and want to do like a bearskin rug just with wolves? And they walked in and they're like, "Yo, check out our rugs," you know?
Right.
Or the thieves
That's because
came
Steve,
in.
the house bear, was like, "Yeah, you're not putting bearskin rugs down here."
Right.
It would have been in the front of Steve the house bear.
Oh, Lordy.
Well, I think that's no. I just the idea of having a wolf pelt laying around, you know, a fully skinned wolf. It's just I don't know. I don't. Maybe it's just a day in the age now, and maybe you know hundreds of years ago or however long this was actually happening. You know, in their tales. You know, maybe it was commonplace to go kill a wolf and take its fur. I don't know. And then how would it get enchanted?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You have too many questions.
So many questions.
Right.
So many questions. Or did Fenrir and Odin like bless all the wolves there?
Fenrir did not bless wolves.
No.
And I had mentioned that earlier. Okay, so again, the wolves, as we've learned here, have been in part of the mythology.
Right.
It's not like there's any reports of werewolves. Or over here in America, we have a lot of dogman sightings.
Yeah.
Yep.
But since we did bring it up, Fenrir was the demonic, or son of the demonic god Loki. In the passage I found here, the son of Loki and giantess Angerboda.
Yeah.
But Fenrir, with the strength, fear and the strength, and only evil, that it could only be evil, the gods bound it with a magical chain made of the sound of cats' footsteps.
What?
The beard of a woman. The
What?
breath of fish. and other occult elements, right?
Okay.
So like that was funny.
Yeah.
So a magical chain
how many
made
bearded
of the
women did they
sound
have
of
around?
cats' footsteps. So when this chain was placed upon Fenrir,
Okay.
Fenrir bit off the hand of the god Tyr. So then Fenrir was gagged with a sword and destined to lie bound to the rock until Ragnarok.
Yep.
Yeah.
When Fenrir will break his bonds and fall upon all the gods.
Yep.
Because he's the destroyer.
Yep. He'll eventually swallow Odin.
Fenrir will devour the sun, and he will swallow. He will fight and swallow Odin. And then I guess Odin's son Vidar will avenge his father, stabbing the wolf to the in the heart.
Not the Hulk.
Not the Hawk. It's not the Hawk. Vidar, and it's not Thor. But yeah, so I mean, the wolf is embedded in Norse mythology.
Oh, yeah.
I found it interesting. Again, the pelts was fascinating.
Well, and I was just thinking that because there was...
In all the werewolf movies, including the one we're about to talk about in the second half, I don't think I've ever seen one where there is like a cursed pelt. And when somebody...
Right.
Like, I could see like, taking that, somebody finds it, maybe they want to make like a
Right.
coat or even a hat or something out of it, and that sets the transformation in mode. No one's done that, and I... Trademark, doing it right now. And maybe maybe this is a movie I haven't seen, but I found that most about some of the stories we talked about,
Right.
cursed pelts.
It actually made me think of The Order. It was a TV show that we watched.
Oh, right. Yes, they did do that.
Yeah, and they did. They had pelts that they put on, and they became.
Like the pelts of like ancient werewolf would
Yeah.
select somebody.
Right. Yeah,
And then-
it wouldn't just attach to somebody. It had to select who
Yeah.
it wanted to wear it. So,
Now,
And you could see him wearing the pelts at all, but the pelt did somehow attune with it, and then you couldn't tell that person was wearing it.
right.
now, one of the things that...
Yeah, so all right, someone did do it. Okay.
okay, check that box.
Check that box.
And kind of I was thinking that as I was doing my studying and whatnot, the two wolves that were on the side of Odin, the Jerry and Freki, I guess Freki and Fenrir, they were used synonymously in a lot of tales. So I have to think that, okay, well, this is just me thinking, like, Odin's just chilling, he's doing his thing. And he's feeding the dogs, they're feeding the wolves, whatever. And he's just doing Odin stuff, whatever the Odin stuff does. And he's like, these are good dogs. He's petting his dogs. And he says, like, I don't know what happens, but maybe he just enchanted Fenrir. And that led to some belief or something that wolf pelts, because Fenrir is a wolf. That all wolves are descended from Fenrir or something like that. And his skin would gain the power that Fenrir had. I don't know. I was trying to make some kind of a logical jump from one to the other, but as you can see, I was having a hard time doing it.
Good job.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of things we didn't get right or missed some details and facts. And if any of this is interesting, go look it up. There's a lot of mythology here. To our friends over in Norway, I'm sure we messed a few things up. So, hey, if you want to correct something, paranormalpunchers@gmail.com. Let us know. We would love to be educated and learn more about some of these this mythology, these legends. Yeah.
And if you know anybody who's had an interaction with a werewolf or turned into a werewolf or has a pelt, that's maybe what they do in the evening.
And they would like to be on the show.
They would like to send us some tales of what they do,
And if you have a pet bear named Steve,
please let us know if you have a house bear.
I would like to build an entire show around you.
That would be awesome. I still would love to have a house bear. That'd be awesome.
Well, I don't think having
It'd have to be a little
I don't
smaller.
think you could. I don't think living inside a house with a bear would actually work out for you.
Well, you have to like potty train him
Good luck.
to use the actual toilet. Can you imagine waking up and if you potty trained your house bear?
Yeah, it'd be like that Continental commercial where they're all just using the.
They're using the toilet and check it out. Maybe that's where they got the idea from.
Oh, there you go. All right, I guess on that note, we should probably take a quick break, and we're going to come back and discuss the movie Viking Wolf and some other little things we're going to throw around to have fun. So, we'll be right back. And we're back.
We're back.
All right. During the break, Nash had a massive hamstring cramp.
Oh, first time I've
Just
had
over
that in
here
a long
crying
time.
like a little baby.
Oh my gosh. Just got to roll around on the floor screaming.
Okay. Viking Wolf, the movie on Netflix. Before we jump in, just like, hey, we have a Patreon. So if you'd like to support the show, it's only $1. You get early and ad-free. You get to partake in picking movies, not this movie. Yes, we have a Discord. We hang out. We shoot the breeze over there. Yeah, just get to be part of the club. And like I said, it's only $1.
Wasn't Extraterrestrial the last one we did? Was that a Patreon pick?
No, we're going to actually just start letting our Patreon members pick the movies.
Because ours have not been too...
Yeah,
we're
It's a 0 for 2?
I picked Extraterrestrial, and that was... it
wasn't bad.
It wasn't horrible,
bad, but...
What did you think, Evan?
I kind of hated it. It's,
Well, there you go. I picked We Are Still Here, which I think is a good movie.
Yeah, that is a good one.
The first movie we talked about on this show was Grave Encounters, which I love. So I guess it depends on your point of view, but I think we're at least 2 for 4 that are good watches.
You didn't think this one was in the good category?
Oh, wait, that's right. We're going to do a movie review.
it's passable.
Viking Wolf on Netflix. So this is about, I don't think I'll say her name right. It's Thale. I think they were saying Tula.
Yeah.
So she's 17, just moved with her parents to a small town after her mother has a new job in the local police. After a student is killed brutally at a party, Tula attends. After a student is killed brutally at a party Tula attends, she becomes a key witness. Was the killer an animal? A wolf?
A what?
A wolf?
A wolf?
A wolf.
A wolf?
I thought you said woof.
And that's the description from IMDb. So yeah, the movie opens. Let's do the good first.
Okay.
And there could be spoilers, so we'll let you know when to tune out. The opening of the movie,
Yeah.
where the Viking dudes they're ransacking Normandy.
Oh, well,
Was it Normandy?
I think
And they're at this monastery, and a monk begs him not to go into this one door. Of course,
Yeah.
the Vikings are like, yeah, because that's where all the treasure is.
Right.
We're clearly going in there. And the leader, I forget his name, but he comes out.
Gudbrand.
Gudbrand?
Gudbrand? Yeah.
He comes out with this
wow, good pull.
with this adorable little wolf pup. You didn't think it was as adorable as I did.
No, it was kind of terrifying.
It did look a little. It did look a little angry.
It was
A little bit.
I thought it was kind of cute.
He was snarling. He was like, "Arr."
But because it's all subtitled, it says that they didn't realize they just unleashed a hellhound.
Yeah.
And as the Vikings got in their boats, by the time they made it back to their homeland,
Yep.
all the Vikings on that boat were dead.
They're dead.
And the hellhound jumped off the ship and disappeared in the deep woods of Norway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, badass opening.
Mm-hmm.
I was digging it.
Right. Right. That's a great opening.
Right.
And then we got the rest of the movie.
what are you talking about?
The rest of the movie did not live up to that beginning.
No.
But let's just jump in.
So
I know it sounds like this was your pick, and that's cool. It sounds like you were loving it.
I enjoyed this movie. As werewolf movies go, I think it's probably one of the best werewolf movies around. Although they completely changed all of like how to become a werewolf, the history of the werewolves, how they became, the whole 9 yards. Everything changed in this movie.
I don't know. I disagree. I saw they were pulling from a lot of werewolf movies.
Well,
and
except for
a
the
lot of
biting.
tropes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biting
Yeah.
to have it go from one
It was
to
a
the
little
next.
more zombie-y than normal. With like all the biting and the infections and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now full disclosure, you can watch this movie with subtitles.
Yep.
But we found Netflix. You could go and you can change it over to English dubbing.
Yeah.
So that's the way we watched it.
Right.
So we didn't have to read.
Yeah.
Well, so I watched it both ways.
Okay.
Okay, so
You watched it twice.
actually about 2.5, 3 times.
You love this movie.
Well, I watched it last night.
You're the reason it's like the number one movie on Netflix.
Right.
So I watched it a little while ago, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. That's cool." So I at the very end was like, "I really enjoy this." So after the suggestion, I'm like, "You know what? Let me bone up on the movie. Let me just make sure that I'm dialed in." So I watched it again last night, and then I was like, "Hey, Evan, since you're going to be on the show, let's watch it. Watch this movie." And he was like, "Yeah, Dad, okay, whatever." And it didn't watch it last night, so we watched it again today. Yeah,
He
because he's
Evan does not look thrilled.
It was all right.
Yeah.
I could have been doing something else.
Yeah. Well, after we had that Viking opening, I think it says like 1,000 years later.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's where it just puts us in current time with Tula and her parents, and her mom's a police officer.
Yeah. She's a police officer.
Couldn't figure out what her stepdad was. Artist?
I don't really know.
Handyman?
Yeah.
Hella
I'm not
cool.
really sure.
We just noticed that the dad really appreciated like hardcore rap.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
okay.
That took me out of it a
Right.
little bit. I was like, wow.
There was one time the soundtrack, I'm like, there is no way that this dude was listening to this rap song.
yeah.
It just felt like out of place. Like, is it because we're watching the English version?
Right.
Like we
No.
were watching the.
No, it was the same song in both versions too.
Okay.
You could understand it. It was in English. So going back, and I'm like, maybe they just did that because as like if you smell coffee, it kind of like wakes you up or something like this, just to pull you out of the ease that your mind was sinking
Right.
into.
Hey, everybody has different musical tastes, so yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
This dude totally could have been into that. It just didn't.
It didn't fit.
Yeah.
It didn't quite fit. Yeah, and there was one other thing that didn't quite fit that I'll talk about here in a little bit. But so the daughter, she goes to a party. There's an attack. She gets bitten. And
Well, first at the party though,
yep.
she gets to the party and everybody is just a jerk right out of the gate
Oh,
to
yeah.
her.
Yeah, a lot of douchebags.
And I'm like, I just felt like it's the movie saying like, all right, take a look now because they're all the ones about to get murdered by the wolf because they're all jerks.
Did you see the beer that she took out of the fridge to the party?
Yeah. Were they just 16 ounces? Those cans look bigger.
They said a 6-pack. It was at a 6-pack, so it must have been a 6-pack of 16s or something like that.
I thought they were like 19 twos. They look much bigger.
They were Brooklyn's Best. Did you see that?
No, I didn't notice what it was. Nice.
Yeah, I was like, oh, hey, I know that beer. Right on. Okay, nice. So she went to the party, had a great time with a bunch of douchebags, and then was kind of like sullen.
I don't think she had a good time.
No. She was kind of in a funk because I guess the guy that she liked had a girlfriend, whatever. So she went off on her own. And then she was walking by and then just witnessed the attack. And I did like how the girlfriend got sucked into the woods. Because it was like, I like the off-camera terror. I'm a big fan of that. You know, and it kind of did that right there.
Well, you know, being a low-budget movie, I'm like, okay, again, watching this, thinking about the movie we want to make, Bigfoot Ridge, you're going to need to do some stuff like that because, you know.
It's expensive.
It's expensive to have, like, great costumes, CGI.
Right.
But I like it. It does lend a little bit itself to its terror because you didn't see what it is yet. It's you know something's out there, letting you know it's ferocious.
Right.
They probably could have kept it off screen the whole time, the whole movie.
So then she's bit. She goes. She starts her process of changing. Now, what do you guys think of her changing process?
Well,
I'm
I didn't
positive
really
I
like her as a
seen
character.
something similar in Ginger Snaps. The way when her face started changing, just to look at that a little bit. But are you referring to that it was very, very slow?
I was going to say that seemed kind
progression.
of unique to me as far as like werewolf movies go. It wasn't a quick change.
Right.
It was something that happened over a week or
something
4
like
days,
that. Yeah.
something like that. But
So, Evan, you didn't like her character to begin with?
Yeah, I thought she was just kind of annoying.
Well, most 16 and 17-year-olds
Right.
are
Yeah,
kind
but like
of...
more than average.
Why? Because she was like mopey, or she was just...
Yeah, she was just kind of mopey and just like mean to everyone.
I'm pretty sure she was mopey because her dad died and her mom remarried.
I think she's mopey because she thought she was the star of the movie, but it seemed like her mom.
I'm pretty sure it was her
because
mom.
like the movie went from Tula, then all of a sudden we were focused just on her mom, trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm like, all right, I guess her story is sort of done,
Right.
I guess.
She has to develop her angst and whatnot, and then some of the guys that are kind of teasing her, well, they get axed, you know. That's good, you know. And then she's got the little sister. The little sister comes into play a little bit
I
later
did like
in the
the little
movie.
sister.
Yeah.
She was cool.
The hearing impaired young lady. Yeah.
Her and the stepdad were a good like little team there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I liked. I did like how that played in the end, using sign language with the wolf.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it too much, but I was like, all right, I like how that's playing in. But yeah, no, it quickly became more focused on her mom going to different crime scenes,
Right.
trying to figure out what's going on,
hunting the
finding the
wolf.
veterinarian.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
The crazy dude with one arm.
Lefty.
Oh, yeah, the werewolf hunter.
worst character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with that. The character is a little like, whoa.
Dude, wait, all right, I want to hear what you
Crazy
think,
old
Evan.
dude.
But he comes and he's missing an arm. You're thinking, oh, he's already battled
Right.
werewolves.
No, because he would have turned into a werewolf if he had.
Exactly.
Well, maybe he figured out. Maybe one took his arm and he cut. Who knows? But he didn't. That was it. He came in and said, "I'm a werewolf hunter." I don't know where he went off to the bar because we
But-
didn't see him again for the longest time.
Didn't he give her a silver
He gave her some
bullet?
silver bullets.
Yeah.
He showed her one that put some in her pocket of her coat. And then when he does show up later, it's like, I assume this guy would come in with like, a crossbow.
You're thinking
all
like-
kinds of silver, like he'd be coming looking like
the
something
Frog
out-
Brothers.
like a Slayer, or like the
Yeah.
Frog Brothers, or Helsing.
Yeah.
But because
yeah.
he was talking, I've been hunting werewolves for
Right.
blah blah blah, and I'm like, all right, this guy, he's gonna be like a integral part of this movie.
Nope.
No, he wasn't.
And I noticed also too that the when he gave her the bullet and he's like, use this bullet, whatever. And then I'm going to use the air quotes, secretly put the bullets in her pocket. So when we went back today and watched it,
How would you say? Okay, I was just like
This
curious.
secretly. Because when we went back and watched it today, I had the volume turned up. I've turned up fairly well, and was like, that wasn't quiet at all. When he took these secret, so it was just like, okay, there's two people in an office, doors closed, in an office. They're just talking to one another, and she's doing paperwork or something like that. He takes out a box of ammo and drops it in her pocket, and I'm like,
oh, you're like, he's over here shaking like a maraca.
yeah. It was like, what is that?
Right.
Yeah, it drops it in her, and if that was dropping something into my pocket, into my coat, which is over on a coat rack, literally, 6 feet away, 8 feet away, and be like, hey, man, what'd you put in
You
my
would
pocket?
be like, what do you, especially if you're a police officer, you'd be
Yeah.
like watching this strange fella. You would not take your eyes off until he was out of the building.
The whole time I was like, this wouldn't fly in America.
Well, no, and he only had one arm, so it wasn't like he was doing some kind of a stealth move with
Yeah.
he had one arm. You just watch the one arm, and he goes, take that and put it in your pocket. And like she'd be like, I don't see anything here. But what do
So
you
she was so focused on looking over the documents she had.
Yeah, it's a lot of paperwork. So when
Before we go there, I really need to know because I thought the werewolf hunter offered nothing.
nothing at all, except for the bullets.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. But why did you like him?
I just thought he was just like the kooky old dude who just like drives his van. He dies by trying to run over the
right.
Like that's
so
awesome.
Wait, oh no. You thought that was awesome?
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
thought it
he's
was
a
funny.
werewolf hunter.
right.
Yeah.
He told her how to kill the werewolf.
Right.
That's his choice. Like,
Right.
Maybe the car had silver on it, and then he
well, it didn't.
Yeah, it obviously
That's
did
what
not.
I mean. The werewolf hunter should have rolled up out front of the building, got out with his silver bullets and everything armed, and then came in there, kicking the front door in, and there was like, dun, dun, dun. No. He saved the day by not even being a werewolf hunter.
Yep.
it didn't even
By
really
being a
save
guy
the
who
day.
just was on his phone and drove into the side of a building.
No, and he didn't save the day.
No.
But it was funny.
Like, I was really hoping I was like, all right.
Right.
And she's not going to trust him for a bit. But then eventually she does, and she realizes he's awesome. And at the very end of the movie, he's dead. But guess what? Now she has to be the werewolf hunter.
right.
That would have been awesome.
Right. The mantle gets moved on.
Yeah. He kept saying about killing the bloodline.
Yeah.
But we don't know how many. I feel like it would be. All it takes is one person to just get a bite.
Right.
And then bite one more, too. Or it could be like 4 or 5 people bitten. It would be really hard to shut down the bloodline. Now, most of the victims didn't just get a bite and get away.
They
One
died.
was definitely keep making sure no one was really getting away.
Right. So what do you guys think of the interaction when the mom meets the wolf face to face
In the mines?
in the mines? Yeah.
Moria.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first time.
Well, the first thing that popped in my head was like, wow, they didn't have a CGI budget.
No.
I thought the practical effects were pretty good.
They were all right. They were okay.
I thought the effects were pretty good.
It's like, and then she fell back and then did the whole get the bullet thing or whatever. I thought when she first, because it was my third time watching the movie, and Evan's first. We end up sliding into like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of a thing, and giving comments throughout the whole thing. So she pokes her head up, which you knew was going to happen, and the wolf was right there. And you just reach up and you go, "Good boy, you're a good boy," and you give him a little scratch behind the head before he takes off your hand. Fell back.
But that's not what she did.
That's what she should have done. Could have saved her life.
I thought she was going to do like a kind of like collapse the mine in on him and kill him kind of thing, like.
And then the movie would have been done in
Right.
30 minutes.
The end.
Well, no, because then they do either way. They do kill the werewolf, and then it's like, okay, they did the thing. We're halfway through the movie. What's going to happen?
Speaking of that, I felt like it took forever
Yep.
to get to that scene in the mine where we saw the wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was like, all right, I understand like slow burns are building up,
Took a
tension and telling the story, but this movie's title was called Viking Wolf.
Right.
I really thought by now we would see a wolf again.
Or another
It really
Viking.
took forever.
Or a Viking for something.
Or a Viking.
Or a wolf with the Viking.
Or a
hat
modern,
on
or like
something,
maybe a modern day Viking had.
Right.
There were like no Vikings
Right.
out of the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there's like modern day. Well, isn't Hafthor Bjorn
Yeah. He's a
like
modern
something
day.
that a dude that looks like that guy shows up to help
Right.
out because he's a modern day berserker and he's there to help because he's
That would've been
the actual
awesome.
werewolf hunter.
Right.
Now, that would
Awesome.
make more sense.
Yeah.
Than the old dude with an RV.
with a silver like axe blade or
Silver
something like
brass
that.
knuckles, just
You know,
bam,
and
bam,
showing
bam.
up and hacking and slashing.
And before he would fight the werewolf, he put on some pelts and got in that. And then we saw them
yeah.
two clash. And that's the end of the movie where the berserker, modern day berserker,
And they're just like going
fights
at
the real werewolf and they're just
Right.
going at it. Dude, rewrite. Yeah. That's the movie I want to see.
So right after she kills the wolf in the mine comes my favorite part and my least favorite part, almost identical at the same time. So my least favorite thing that I liked was the veterinary expert, the predator expert, who looked like a class aide in some class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like somebody painted on his, I turned to Evan because he got a little bit of a stash going. And I'm like, his stash is not much better than yours.
Yeah.
And he's the expert. I was like, all right.
He
Okay.
kind of looked like an intern from California.
Yeah. I wasn't buying his expertise. But then my favorite part came when the wolf is dead and he's got the claw and he's like examining the claw and he looks at
Right.
where the claw came from and there was a fingernail coming
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of like that.
I like that spot a lot. It was a little subtle thing and I was like, oh, I like
And
that.
so this used to be
Yeah.
a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. But I still don't think it paid off.
Correct.
No. I read that, and I think you mentioned this, the autopsy scene was kind of reminiscent of Jaws.
Yeah, in fact, some of the dialogue during that autopsy scene was directly translated from Jaws.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. So, and apparently there's several homages to Jaws in the movie.
Oh.
So for that, I say kudos.
Yeah.
It's been a while
That's
since
my
I watched
favorite movie.
Jaws. Wow. I didn't even catch any of that.
No.
Wait,
Go figure.
did you say you've never seen Jaws?
No, I haven't seen it
Oh.
in a long, long time. Maybe I need to go watch Jaws again. We don't
Yes. I will always recommend that.
know. Yeah. So after that scene, then it goes back to what? It goes back to her dealing with her going through the changes and
Yeah.
whatnot. And I just kind of liked how they did her change. Not the actual changing of it when she actually morphed right there, but the little parts that were getting, like her hearing was getting better. You know, she was feeling queasy, and you know,
Yeah, but I was like, so much of this is familiar. In fact, I can't remember what I was originally thinking last night when we watched it, but now talking about it, like it's similar. Reminds me a little bit when Tobey Maguire got bit by the spider.
Oh, yeah.
in
Oh,
the original
yeah.
Spider-Man. Like he's like all of a sudden his hearing's getting better. Then he gets more muscular. I was like, okay, again, it's just very. I've seen this done before.
Yeah.
True.
in different movies.
Yeah. And then, fast forward to, she goes full wolf. I wasn't super wild about her actual transformation. It was okay. It was all right.
Yeah.
But then,
I thought it was kind of cool how there was one scene where she had her hood up and all you could see is the wolf snout sticking out. Thought that was kind of,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
the hood up, as we know from every movie out there, especially in the Marvel universe, the hood up hides everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're both a villain and you're extremely well hidden with your hood up. It's just the way it works.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they couldn't catch the wolf took off. She took off as a wolf. She didn't kill her sister, which was nice. She didn't kill her little sister.
Well, the sisters look out for each other, right?
That's right. And then, the guy runs into a building and she takes off. It ends up in a tunnel. Aren't they in some kind of a tunnel or something like that? See, I missed I kind of stepped out
They
the
end up-
lift at the very end of it. So
Yeah. There's like the tunnel scene,
yeah.
and then there's the scene where the old dude dies. And that's the scene where the old dude dies is the last scene where they eventually shoot her with the tranquilizer. And then her mom shoots the...
Does
Does
she
she
shoot?
though?
Does she?
She didn't do it. You didn't hear a gunshot. And then at the
She
end,
still had the bullet.
she still has the bullet, and she puts it next to her daughter's picture at the end. And I was looking online, and people are questioning whether she actually shot her daughter or not.
I took it as she did, and that was like putting the bullet next to her daughter was like implying that she did.
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
So, yeah, I guess I thought we were going to tell you when we were going to get into spoilers, but we didn't tell you, and now we just told you the whole movie.
Sorry.
We told you, so you don't have to watch it.
so I took the bullet next to the picture as, I let you go that one time you got away, but next time we meet, your ass is grass. That's
Interesting.
Because I'm the hunter now or something like that.
One of our Patreon members, Andy, gave us a review, and I really do think this is overall pretty accurate. Okay, so Viking Wolf sure was something. Mm-hmm. Everything about this feels exactly as you would expect from a straight-to-Netflix movie.
Yes.
It was predictable, and it never really addresses any of Tula's problems. It doesn't even really address the town's werewolf problem. The ghost scenes seemed like an afterthought and added nothing to the context of the movie. Overall, it lacked originality.
Yeah, the ghost scenes were kind of pulled directly from Werewolf in Paris or Werewolf in London.
An American Werewolf in London.
That's it. It's actually Steph's favorite movie, one of Steph's favorite movies.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And where he's sitting talking with the dead people. So I kind of was like, okay, she's having some issues. Mm-hmm. She's having some PTSD kind of a thing.
Yeah, and I've seen other things online too. People just saying about, it pulls from this movie, pulls from this movie. It's like there's nothing really original about it.
True.
But so the question that I put to that is, at this day and age, can you do a werewolf movie that's 100% original? With concepts
Yeah, we
ideas?
just had one.
Right.
With a Viking berserker, modern day.
Well, yeah.
That is also a werewolf hunter.
Yeah.
And he dons the wolf fur and goes berserk to fight and defeat these werewolves. Dude, Netflix.
Call us.
Call us, man. You want an original Paranormal Punchers werewolf movie? Call us.
Yeah. I liked your guys's. I know last night after we watched it, what I said was I wanted a movie about the opening scene.
Yes.
End.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened on the boat? What happened when the wolf jumped in the forest?
I want to know what happened, like a prequel, maybe.
Yeah.
Why?
No. Do not Netflix. Don't give it money for a Viking Wolf prequel. Give us the money to do Wolf Berserker.
Yeah, and
Berserker Wolf.
How did the monks catch, or how did the wolf?
How the monks even get the wolf?
How did they get the wolf?
And it was like a baby wolf at the time.
and why did the guy carrying the wolf pop out? Have to make it look like a little like a Muppet.
And what if they just would have left the wolf with the monks, and maybe just been sitting around drinking beer? Maybe the wolf would have not been. Maybe it would have got nice.
Not house bear, but their house wolf.
House wolf.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. The Abbey wolf. Nice. Did they catch a witch? How was it summoned? Because it was just a pup, so how did it get there?
Yeah, monks. What are you up to?
Did they kill a witch or something like that? She summoned the wolf.
Once we do Berserker Wolf, then we'll do Monk Wolf.
Oh, nice.
Telling the tale how the monks, brewing beer got a wolf like that.
Oh boy.
Or was if they were secretly evil monks?
It could have been, and the one guy didn't know.
Well, all right. We all were talking about the movie, but I'm really curious of how you would rate it. And I'm going to actually start with Evan.
What? Oh,
He forgot he was on the podcast there for a second.
I'd rate it probably a 6 or 7 out of 10.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'll say Nash because I feel yours is higher. Lish.
Yeah, I would say there's moments in the movie that I did enjoy. Like I said, the transition from human to wolf that took a while, and that was kind of unique to me. So I would probably give it about a 6, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, Andy in our Discord had said maybe pregame, but not too much because there's subtitles. Which now I was like, oh no! But then I found the English. So we pre-gamed. It didn't actually make it better for me.
Yeah.
I think I just, for some reason, wanted to always just point out things that I didn't like. maybe I never sat back and just enjoyed. So for that, I probably to say at least the way I felt from beginning to end is like very 5 out of 10.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, just very middle of the road for me.
I actually gave it about, yes, I'm going to be the highest. I gave it about a 7.5.
Okay.
You know, it's not the best werewolf movie. Maybe I don't want to give it an 8. You know, 8 is way too high.
Right.
I think 8 is too high, and 7. I think it's better than a 7. So I'm a 7.5. So I think that it was enjoyable.
Okay.
I liked the bringing new ways to come up with the werewolf lore. How the werewolf came to Norway.
Okay.
You know, the history of it, that they don't transform back and forth. That was a new idea, that they just stay in wolf form.
There, yeah.
You know, more like a disease than anything else. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I get a 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't take our word for it. If it sounds like something you want to check out, watch it, make up your own mind. But the next movie we pick, it's got to literally be, we all have to be 6 or higher. We keep having these movies where we're like, don't know. We got to have a really solid one.
I think you guys should keep watching really bad movies.
Yeah.
They get worse and worse.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that as long as we know we're moving in, we're watching like American Bigfoot was bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if we're like, hey, we're watching bad movies to have fun with it, and we're gonna do an MST3K, I'm okay with that.
Right.
Then I would recommend Birdemic.
Or the
What?
Hands of Manos? What was the one that we watched? I can't even think of the title of it now. We watched a really bad movie.
Hands of
It was about man. They were like it was like a cult, about a cult, and they had like a hand as their.
Oh wow! Okay.
Oh my gosh, I can't even think of it. But it was like a solid 2, maybe a 1. Yeah. So we've come across some bad ones.
So we're gonna try to get some good ones that still fit in the theme of the paranormal we're talking about. Stick with us. We'll get one.
Yeah, we'll get one.
I promise we'll get there.
Thinking about werewolves and thinking about the Vikings have werewolves, werebears. There's wereravens.
I saw that
in
too.
D&D,
that sounds really
but also
cool.
in D&D, Ravenloft has wereraven. A lot of. Is there any animal, if you could change back and forth, specifically if you could do it at will and it wasn't on a full moon, and you had control? Is there an animal you would want to be able to change into? But I also want to know why. And not just because you think, I want to know why that is an animal you want to change into.
There was an animal.
What you would do in that form, hence the why you would want to be this creature.
What kind of a were creature would you want to be, and why?
Well, one that I wouldn't want to be, that I just think is kind of funny.
Well, you are Nash's kid, because that's not the question I actually asked.
What I would want to be, probably like a bird or something.
A bird or
A
something?
bird or something. Yeah.
Okay, flight.
Just to fly
I
away.
get flight. What would you...
Okay.
But specifically, is there things you would want to do?
Eat bugs, seeds, just
Okay.
live as a bird.
Okay.
A were creature that I would want to be.
Fish.
But why? And why, specifically, that animal?
Well, if it's the and why, then I'm going to say a house cat.
Okay. It could be yours, too,
Okay.
Lish. It's okay.
Because the life of the house cat is freaking awesome. Oh my gosh, why not? If it was like, if I was in D&D and it was more of like an action scenario, whatever, then I wouldn't pick a house cat. You know, I would probably go with either a werewolf or a were tiger. You know, that would be the way to go. But, or a werebear, or a were ape, or, you know, something like that. But if it was and why, and it is, I'm going to go with the house cat.
Well, he took mine.
You got to be something
there
different.
could be multiple werecats.
Okay. Well, I maybe not a...
A were pug?
Wear a hamster.
No. I definitely want to be a cat because I can land on my feet. I'm always on my feet.
And you're the kind of a-hole that would just just push stuff off a shelf?
Well, I would try not to. But,
That's the life for me.
but no, the humans, they feed you, and maybe they'll touch you if you let them. But whatever.
It's like a
pet
worshiping
you.
thing almost.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
really worship our animals.
Right. So I would be into that. They have the life. They get to sleep a lot, and they get fed, and yeah.
It's good. It's a good spot.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing with you, Evan. Bird, but I'm thinking like maybe a were-eagle. Like a majestic big bird.
Yeah.
But
Big bird.
not big bird.
Wow. Is that a house bird?
Ostrich.
We'll teach you how to do the alphabet. But, for flight,
Yeah.
flight, and eagles dive into water, grab fish. I like fish.
Yeah.
And then I could just change back and be like, man, what an awesome day. I am now ready to go to work because I've already been soaring with the eagles as an eagle.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
See,
you.
nothing, I wasn't going to turn anything vicious. Again, but a were grizzly, fishing salmon out of the stream, fresh salmon like sushi. That'd be
You
awesome.
could be a dolphin. Dolphin, they're not afraid of sharks. They actually beat the crap out of
Yeah.
sharks.
Right.
Well, what about a were shark?
Werefish. Because the problem with that is then you transform and then there's no water around and you die.
Well, I mean, if I just say that it's up to you when you transform.
Well,
You don't
yeah.
need a full moon. So if you're like transform into a shark when you're on dry land,
That's not
That's
going to
on
work out
you.
so well.
But what are the practical uses for being a shark? Like, you're not going to be in like the water doing your taxes, and you're like, a shark form would be useful.
well, I hope when we all transform into these creatures, it's because we are sick of doing things like taxes.
Right.
And that's
Well,
why we transform to get away.
And sharks, if they stop swimming, they just die.
They don't die; they fall asleep.
Well, no, because they can't breathe. They have to swim forward to breathe.
You know what? I'm going to amend. I'm going to amend my
You
my
can't.
werecat
Okay, go ahead.
to a groundhog.
A were groundhog.
A groundhog. Have you ever seen a skinny groundhog?
True. I've seen a lot hit on the road, though.
That's because
And they
they're
get
stupid.
hunted.
That's because they're dumb.
Well, I don't know where you're going with why you want to be
I
a were
know.
groundhog then.
Because they lead the life. They waddle around, they eat their food, and they just go back to wherever. It's kind of like similar to being a house cat, just not trapped inside.
They all die miserably, though.
That's just because they're not aware. But if you're a aware groundhog, then you would just know. You would know what's
you would
happening.
know what not
You're
to do.
an
Yeah.
aware ground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, we would
an
all be
aware.
aware because we'd still have our
Right.
human brains telling us like, don't try to cross the road right here.
This is a bad idea. Don't do that.
So like an old joke. Why did the chicken cross the road? To prove to the possum it could be done.
There you go.
Brunch.
Wow. Wow. Dead airspace.
Crickets. All right, well there you go. What would you transform into if you
That's
could?
right. And if you want to go on to Patreon and help us fund our brand new werewolf movie,
Yeah.
we need a good name for it.
Berserker Wolf.
Berserker Wolf? Is that what
Or
it is?
Berserker Verse Werewolf. They're always popular, right? Movies that have verses in them.
That's true.
Or where, ?
Do you think we could like make a short, just shoot like a 4-minute proof of concept
Yeah.
of this?
Yeah.
Netflix, serious. You seem to be like, you give Adam Sandler money to do like all kinds of movies all the time,
Yeah.
and they're usually like rating like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Like when
We
he
can
was,
get you 35% with our movie.
I mean, look at Little Nicky for Pete's sake. I mean, come on. That was a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a lot of money for that movie.
Yeah, he's the Sandman.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we could do it, and we
We
could
could
do
have
it.
Adam Netflix. If we make Adam Sandler the Berserker, then will you give us the money?
Oh, that's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea.
All right. Any final thoughts on this, Evan?
What?
Or just Viking
think I
wolves,
got
werewolves, anything in general? This is our sign off.
Dad, you probably got some opinions, don't you?
Yes, you fool.
Well, I'm
Okay, I'll shift it. Give you time to think.
just giving you the question. I don't. You
Well,
do.
Mark already gave the question.
Well, no, and I'm giving it
Oh,
to you.
He's passing it.
Passed.
okay.
He passed.
Pass it down.
I like the idea of the Viking werewolf. After doing all the research that we did and looking at it, I'm a little more intrigued to look at werebears than
Yeah, I
werewolves.
know.
Yeah.
Because that seems, but if it's kind of similar to what it is, it's like, well, maybe they just don't have a lot of were creatures in Norway. It's not just something I don't know. But I think it's pretty cool. I like the idea of donning a skin instead of just a full transformation. You know, my D&D character takes on attributes of the creature that he turns into. It doesn't do a
like
full transition. Kind of dig on that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the movie too. It's a fun one that you can drink. You can pregame, game, and then postgame while you're watching, and it's good enough. More than good enough. It's enjoyable.
No, I agree with you. The bear was a little interesting. I was like, oof, we should totally focus on this as well. But
Well, why didn't you tell us?
I listen.
I was there. I was thinking about it too. But
I guess that's for another episode.
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
But anyway,
Yeah, it was interesting to go down, the research. Go down the research. There's more we can learn for sure, and maybe because we didn't offshoot into the werebear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Movie wise, if you want to watch a Viking movie, there's a movie called The Northman with Alexander Skarsgård.
Yep.
And he is a berserker, and he dons some pelts. I can't remember if he was the bear or wolf.
I think it was wasn't it a wolf skin he had?
So,
But
yeah,
Now we need
check
to
that
go
out.
back and
That's-
rewatch that and see what he does.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
understand that a lot more
Yeah.
now that we talked about this. That's a good movie. That's a little slow and artsy, so you got don't pregame,
Right.
Focus.
And if you're gonna look at the Norwegian, mythology and whatnot, we're kind of missing the boat. Even talking about weird creatures, we need to be talking about trolls.
yeah, no,
Trolls.
you're right.
Well, we'll
is
do.
that's the one.
Yeah, that's the topic we'll do when Dave's back.
Yeah, yeah,
so he can contribute. But he's gonna be sad he missed all this.
I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, Evan, your final thoughts?
I mean, I feel like out of all the Norse mythology stuff, the werewolf side, like you guys were saying, the troll stuff would have been way cooler.
Yeah.
Wow.
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 Okay.
Yeah, where were you when we were
Well,
picking the topic, bro?
Rephrase, you would have had way more material.
Yeah, possibly. So the werebear and the werewolf are kind of the shallow end of the pool.
Yeah.
And the trolls are the deep end of
Then
the
you're
pool.
getting into like the trolls and then like the
Well, that's on the
dwarves and
list.
stuff.
All right.
Well, thank you for spending your time with us. Hope you had a good time. Hope we put a smile on your face. If you like us, give us that 5-star on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to the show. We're on every single podcast aggregator.
Nice. That's a big word.
It is. Yeah, hey.
You smart.
Your biggest one yet.
Yeah, you think so? Okay. All right. Till next time, everybody. If it's not weird.
It's not worth checking out.